All right, everybody. Welcome to tonight's discussion corner. Lincoln and I are going to talk about an unpopular opinion that we think is going to stir some of the dust up, and it has to do with people who kind of push themselves too far when it comes to training and racing, and who kind of lay it all out there at all costs, despite what their bodies might be telling them. Now, full disclaimer: yes, if any of you know us here at Feldman PT and Performance, we definitely pride ourselves on the fact that most of the time telling an athlete to stop training or racing is the exact opposite of what they need to do. And too often people are shut down completely when they need to keep, working through whatever issue they're dealing with. Now, that being said, there's definitely a fine line, or I should say a definitive line, where sometimes you just need to stop. And, again, this is going to be kind of like a harsh take on, you know, the recreational amateur athletes that we see people, or the recreational amateur athletes that we see in our office and also at the races and on social media in these groups, that are out there kind of seeking validation and also kind of putting their story out there and their journey. And everybody has a journey. Everybody has their reasons for doing things and the reasons for racing and training. And I have mine, and I love seeing people out there. I love seeing the participation rates improve in the endurance game, whether it's running and triathlon. We're out there having a great time. Now, what I don't like to see is the people who are out there posting pictures of themselves from the hospital bed saying, I just got hit by a car, and my doctor says, that I should, probably not participate in the race, but I'm going to do it anyway because no pain, no gain kind of thing, right? And you may sound like I'm being a little facetious, but I'm really not. And what kind of sparked this, was leading up to Ironman Lake Placid. I'd like to participate in the social media groups to stay on top of information that I may not normally stay on top of. But I wholeheartedly dislike what social media has turned into. And, a lot of the posts that we see are people asking and soliciting advice from completely random strangers on the internet, so go figure, we love to do that. But what I don't like to see, and I'm definitely jaded by my healthcare background and perspective, is again, when I log in and I see in one of the Ironman Facebook groups, a guy who posts a picture of himself, with the cervical collar on from the ambulance. And, then right next to it is a picture of him from his, most recent ride holding up his bike. And he says, I got hit by a car in a nasty bike accident a couple months ago. And I know the race is still a few months out, but I'm back out there training. And even though my tailbone is still a bit sore and my muscles are still sore, my body's still sore, I'm kind of pushing through. I can't wait to see you guys. Or the woman who was posting in a different, Facebook group about how last year she got out of the swim and she could barely feel her legs, and she had to do the entire 112-mile bike ride just using one of her legs. And then getting on the run, she could barely move, and she got 5 miles in, and it was so painful, and they had to pull her off the course. But she was going to say, "No, I want to do it because it's difficult, and that's why we're out here." And they had to pull her off the course. And she gets home, finds out she went and saw her doctor, and she had a severe vascular issue. And now she's still not 100%, but she's back out there, even though, her legs are still giving her a hard time. And, I just want to share my journey because I know we all go through tough times. So this is your motivation too. The athletes that run through clear breaks, bones are broken and they're pushing through because, again, no pain, no gain. And, got to get to the finish line. That's the ultimate goal here. And honestly, that's just dumb. And this is the harsh take on that. I cannot stand people doing those kind of things. I cannot stand people who are out there just blindly throwing common sense to the curb for an amateur sport. And this notion that I've seen is that people feel they need to validate their journey because it's difficult. And, look at what I'm going through too. And I'm earning every bit of this just like everybody else. And it's going to be painful and suffering. We're not pros and it's difficult for us. It's not easy. And so, yeah, I've got my badge of honor, right? And honestly, guys, that's the complete opposite of what these sports should be about. Those are the people that I see, and I would love to be able to have an honest chat with them and say, listen, your body's telling you it's time to rest. Maybe you shouldn't push through it. Just because something is difficult doesn't mean it's the right way to go about it. Just because this is going to be even tougher, that's going to make my race that much more validated. And honestly, I'll let people push through a lot of things. Everybody's got their own reasons for doing things, but when you're compromising long-term bodily injury, this is where I feel like we as fellow racers, peers in the sport, friends, family members, tri-club supporters, should be honest with one another and say, listen, maybe you should just actually take some time off. And one of the woman who had the vascular issue, she was saying how her club was so supportive and having, seeing her back out there, and I can't believe you're so strong. And that's where I would just tell my friend, just no, chill out, man. Like, you're not getting a paycheck from this. Like, you're compromising, your body here. Could be long term health complications. And so, the notion that you should just keep pushing through things because it's going to be tough, and look at me and look how tough this is. Honestly, you're not getting any more respect from me, nor are you getting a lot of respect from other people in the healthcare community. We do this for a living. We see the clear delineation between things that you can push through and things where your body's telling you chill out. You know, um, yeah, I don't subscribe to the notion that just because it's going to be tougher, that this is going to be the right way to go about it. And honesty, if you want to pride yourself on doing something really difficult and you want to get some respect from everybody else out there, honestly, sometimes the most difficult thing to do is to tap out and say, you know what, despite how emotionally invested I am in this, despite how much money I've spent on this, despite how much training I've done, maybe I should just defer. Maybe I should just relax a little bit this year, let my body get healthy and recover, and I'll get back at it next year. That honestly is the toughest thing to do, and that garners a lot of respect as far as I'm concerned. So um, that's kind of the harsh take on today. I really would love to see participation rates increase, but unfortunately, we've just seen so many injury rates increase as well. And, it's something we'd like to combat. We do this for a living, and, we would really love to see people go about this the smart way, the right way, and the healthy way. And so, from today's discussion corner, guys, I'm just here to tell you that as supportive as I am, with all these races and in this community, and I love this endurance community. I love the passion and the grit. Sometimes, pardon me, sometimes you're not getting any respect from me if you're doing something dumb and pushing through clear bodily injury and severe injury is just dumb. So, sorry. I want to see what kind of response this video gets, but we're out there for you guys. We love to give you as much content as we can, but this is also something that I think bears enough importance to talk about tonight. So that was my discussion corner. Be smart. Listen to your body. Listen to the professionals too. And just because something is going to be difficult, doesn't mean you should just go ahead and do it anyways in this game. That doesn't get you a badge of honor. Sometimes the difficult thing is listening to your body and making the hard decision, the tough decision, right? That's what's far more important as far as we're concerned. So that's it. Hope you guys have a great rest of the day or morning, wherever you are right now in your life. Hope you guys are enjoying your training. If you got something coming up, good luck. Enjoy every minute of it. And as always, we appreciate your support. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time.